Today's date, July 12th, otherwise known as my birthday. So hey, I'm Jackson. I'm gonna answer the age-old question. Can you turn birthday candles into a corset to make the candle set? Birthday edition! And as my present from you to me, you have to hit that like and subscribe button. Yeah. Sorry, I don't make the rules. I just work here. You legally have to press that like and subscribe button because it's my birthday. So you gotta do that for me. Okay, let's get to melting some candles. Okay, so I got a bunch of these trays where I'm going to melt the candles into. I think the first step actually is to lay out some fabric to melt the candles onto. So let's do that really quickly. Cool. So we got these 3 trays. That should be more than enough to actually cut everything out. I know in the intro I lit one of these up, but that seems very inefficient. So I also have some bigger candles to help me make this work. Also, instead of using fire, I'm just gonna melt them all with the heat gun because that seems faster. So let us do that. Okay, so the idea here is I'm gonna separate each color into like a color group so that way when they all melt together, they would look cool. Oh, how naive and foolish I was back then. How naive and foolish all this effort was. Cool. I'm gonna move these 2 aside for right now, and we're gonna start with this one and see what happens. Alright, so we're gonna see if this melts it. It looks like it's starting to melt. Yeah, some of them are melting. This is kind of awesome. Okay. I don't think putting in the fabric in first was a wise choice, so I'm gonna try and switch this out to a different tray before continuing. Because I don't want to set this on fire, because that would be bad. So I guess let's make a sludge first, and then after we make the sludge, we'll put in the fabric. That seems smarter with what I'm looking at here. So what we're looking at here was a bad idea. This was not my brightest idea I've ever had. When I was using the heat gun, it was kind of spraying all hot wax all over my table. This was not smart, but I just kind of trucked through because that's what I decided to do. Cool. So I think now I'm just gonna let this dry and we're gonna go from there. I need to see what kind of happens. So, time lapse maybe? Maybe not, we'll see. Awesome time lapse of wax drying. Yeah. All right, it's cold enough, I think, that I can move it without disrupting its integrity. So, let's put this aside and discuss what we learned from that first attempt. So number 1, we're not gonna use this anymore. Why? 1, took me 50 minutes to melt all the candles. 2, I don't want to burn my house down. Don't want to do that. So, while this was drying, I went out and got this guy. It's like a candle melter. So I think this will help the process go faster and safer. Yeah. So let's grab our next one and try again. What's cool about this is that if it fails, I can just remelt the candles and go from there. But we're not gonna worry about that yet. You know what? I need one more thing. Fire extinguisher, just in case. Alright, it's starting to melt a little bit. Now this was a good idea. It was a lot safer and also more efficient. I just had to make sure and throw the candles in. And then I watched it melt. I don't know why I watched it melt. Maybe I was just like, oh, this is the first time I'm gonna use this thing. Am I doing it right? But yeah, it worked pretty good. Pretty good. A jug of wax, and let's pour it on top of our fabric. That does not seem to be enough, so let's toss the rest of these in. Alright, during this time lapse, all I'm doing is melting down the rest of the orange, then I'm going to pour it on top of it. Then I'm also going to grab our pink and red candles, toss them all into the wax melter. It actually worked better. Now, why did I leave the wicks in? I was thinking, oh, when I cut out the pattern and I cut through a couple of the wicks, it's gonna make sure, like, it's gonna strengthen it. It's gonna strengthen it when I start sewing and when I cut, so it'll stay together. But no, they just look bad. I'm sorry. They're gonna stay in the video for way longer than they should, and I'm sorry. Okay. Just ignore the wicks for now. Eventually they will disappear, but not yet. But now, let's actually make a pattern to cut everything out. So first, we're gonna wrap our foam saran wrap tape, and design-wise, I don't trust the wax to be able to, like, curve or fold. It seems too stiff and brittle, or too weak and brittle, whatever the proper verbiage is there. So I'm making sure to do very small pieces for when I sew them together, so that way each individual piece doesn't have to actually fold that much. That's the plan. Is it gonna work? You'll just have to keep watching the video to find out. Yeah. You two things. If you're enjoying the video, hit the like button. You should hit the. It's my birthday, so I'm gonna make you feel bad if you don't hit the like button right now. Hit the. Okay, so they're all dried up now, so let's get them out of their tins here. Cool. Sweet. So here are all of our bricks of wax. I'll let you in a little bit of the timeline, how this video is being shot. So I went to bed last night thinking, this is an awesome idea. I cooked up something special here. I woke up this morning and I went, what was I thinking? This does not seem like it's gonna work. But there's one thing I've learned from this series. If you act with fear in your heart, it will not work. So I'm gonna act as confident as I was last night and keep on working at this, but I do have a backup plan if it doesn't work. So what our next step here is going to be, we're gonna cut out our pattern. So let us do that. Uh-oh. Okay, maybe it's a scissors angle. Okay, well, I'm gonna set this one aside because the thickness of this one is a lot worse because of how I did it. So I'm gonna try again with the purple here, and if that doesn't work, we're gonna pivot to plan B. I don't know why I said purple, it's pink. So we're gonna try to cut out a left and a right out of our pink and our orange here, making sure we get a left and a right of our first piece. Yeah, let's see how this works. Okay, this is a little bit better, but it is kind of chipping. Okay, let us try to sew these two pieces together and then we'll go from there. Okay, well, that didn't work at all. Okay, let's go to plan B, because this is not gonna work. Okay, so it's time to pivot. Forget that other pattern that we made. This is our new pattern. It's my new friend. This is a pattern that I've used several times for my collections and stuff. The special thing about this pattern is I can do it completely flat. So I think that's gonna be better for this. I'll show how I plan to do it. It's gonna be very similar to the last one. But we're gonna actually make the corset first, and then we're gonna put the wax on top of the pre-made corset. And that's the plan. So let's give it a shot. Confidence level on the floor. But we're gonna keep trying. All we're doing is cutting this out on the phone. Technically, you should have some seams in there. We're not gonna put any seams in there because wax, okay? We're gonna suspend our disbelief here. So we're gonna cut everything out of one piece of fabric. Okay, I am also gonna do a little bit of prep work so I know where I'm putting my bone channels. So it's actually going to be internal bone channels, and we're just gonna draw out 1/2 inch everywhere we want to put it. You can put more, you can put less than I did. I just did like what I felt was good for this particular project. That's all I gotta say about this section. Gotta put your bone channels into a corset, or else it's not a corset. I'm sleep deprived. Put her in our bone channels. So let's head over to the sewing machine and actually do that. POV, you don't actually have to experience the unspeakable horrors. So let's get to sewing. So all we're doing is sewing down our channels on these lines that I set up. Okay, so now we gotta put this in every other spot. So let us do that. Believe it or not, this is actually the last bit of sewing you'll see in this video. I know, that's crazy. There's still so much time left on the timeline. And normally when we're doing this, I go, it's tier list time, and I throw up our tier list, but I'm not actually working with the wax yet. So we're gonna hold off on our tier list. Okay, we're gonna hold off on our tier list, and we're just gonna finish sewing in our bone channels, making sure we just line up some bias tape in our channels. I'm using green bias tape because it's my favorite color, because it's my birthday. Have I mentioned it's my birthday yet? Because it's my birthday. Okay, so now it is time to put the bones into the bone channels. Okay, so now let us add our bones to the bone channels. It's finally time for the most normal section of this video. We're gonna put the bones into the bone channels. We're going 1/2 inch from the top and 1/2 inch from the bottom, and slide in each individual bone into each individual channel, so that way it can technically be called the corset. Yeah. I'm gonna seal up all of these channels now, and then we'll move on to the next step. I kind of just went around with a little bit of black bias on the back, just to seal everything up. I lost the footage. I don't know. My bad. Okay, back to the normal video. Alright, so here is our thing. It's all sealed up and awesome. Now, I think I need to set up a bigger tray so that way I can fully submerge this in wax. So let's do that next. I'll say it, this isn't my proudest part of the video. This is kind of crossing the line from like my sewing and fashion design expertise into more like crafting and DIY type of thing. I'm okay at it, not my specialty. So I'm gonna whip up whatever this tray is. I'm trying to seal up all the cracks, that way I try to get the least amount of wax on my cutting board here, and I tried my best. I tried. Now I gotta start remelting all of my wax, and we can pour it over this guy. So I'm basically just using the same technique that I did originally to make those sheets of wax, but instead of trying to cut those sheets of wax out into smaller shapes, we're just gonna cover our corset so that way our corset will become wax. That's the plan. That's the idea. That's what we're going with for plan B. This is the plan now. Yeah. I'm also trying to harvest as much as I can from those wax sheets that I made earlier, just remelting them down. For some reason, the blue turned green. I don't know how that happened. Honestly, it looked super blue before, and then I remelted it, and it became green. I don't get it. I'm very confused how the blue turned green. I'm not complaining. I do love the color green. But, I don't understand. While the blue is melting down, I'm also gonna start prepping our orange and our pink to also be tossed into the little pot here. I found that if I actually hit it with the back side of the hammer, not the actual hammer part, you know, the front side of the hammer, it got the wax off better. I don't really understand. Also, the orange was by far the easiest one to remove from the fabric. I don't know if that's just because how I did it, or it's the type of like dye that's in the orange, but it was the easiest one to do out from the blue and the pink. I don't know. Just a weird observation I had. This does appear to be completely liquefied. So I'm gonna first pour in our blue, and then we're gonna go from there. Hopefully this doesn't spill out everywhere. I feel like I did a pretty good job sealing up the cracks, but we'll see. Alright, 3, 2, 1, let's go. While this is drying up, I'm also gonna start melting down this pink stuff here. What you're about to watch is a time lapse of about 7.5 hours. Yeah, this step took me about 7.5 hours. In my brain, the longest part of this whole entire process was going to be waiting for the wax to dry. That was not the longest part. The longest part was waiting for the wax to melt. I was not expecting that. And also, I realized I didn't have enough wax I didn't have enough wax to completely submerge my corset in. So I just kept on pouring more and more wax eventually. I tried to keep each individual color visible. After a while, I gave up on that. I also gave up on the hope of having straps on this. So just pretend the straps don't exist anymore, okay? Because Jack's editing literally this video gave up about, I want to say 5 hours in, saying, we're not doing straps. No more straps on this. Okay? But we just kept on melting down our candles, pouring it on top of it, until I felt like, oh yeah, you can't really see the bone channels anymore. My goal was to completely cover the bone channels, and I think I did an okay job at that. Alright, so I'm gonna let this last section cure and harden just a little bit more before I try to take it out. So while I'm waiting for that, I'm actually going to grab our form here and rewrap it in saran wrap. Because you must be thinking, how are you gonna get this slab on there? Well, you just have to wait like, I don't know, 30 seconds, maybe, not even, maybe like 15 seconds. Depending how long I do the fast forward through this section. It's 2:24 on my birthday, and I'm still working on this. So, happy birthday to me, I guess. I don't want to get wax on my good form, so I'm just wrapping the form. That's the purpose of this. Because I would like to keep my forms nice and pretty pristine. Okay, I'm going to attempt one grommet. If it doesn't work, there's gonna be holes in it so that way we can kind of lace it up. Yeah, that's the plan. It's hammer time! Yeah! Loud hammer. Kinda. I mean, like, it's kinda on there. Alright. Let's do the rest of them. This thing's a monstrosity. Oh, they're just falling out. Yeah, that's not... Okay. Well, that's okay. We'll just make big holes. Now, we're gonna take our dress form here and lay it on the table. And slowly melt this onto the form, essentially. So, this isn't really gonna work how I explained. I'm gonna try my best to melt it. It kind of melts, not really. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that subscribe button because it's my birthday. And that would make me very happy for my birthday. I'm just basically going to try and force the corset onto the form at this point because it's not really doing what I 100% planned. It kind of is, but not really. Alright. I think that's the best it's gonna get. Okay, I guess let me try a little bit more. Okay. I think that's as good as it's gonna get. I mean, it's kind of cool in like a rock monster kind of way. It's just you can just take a chunk out of this. You can just go like, that's mine now. Okay, I guess cut to me in front of a green screen giving my final thoughts on this. So there you have it. A corset made out of birthday candles. So the answer to the age-old question, can you turn candles into a corset to make the candle set birthday edition? Kinda? Not really. I mean, I think it looks kind of funny and cool and like that's a ridiculous kind of way, but like, I don't know if I can actually call it a corset. There's very minimal sewing that went into this. It can't even hold any grommets. So I'm gonna go So you know what time it is? It's tier list time! It's an F tier. Yeah, the candles are an F. Maybe D tier. Do I want to give it a D tier because it did wind up on the form? No, it's an F tier. Yeah, it's an F tier. So, if you enjoyed this video, be sure, hit a like, subscribe, drop a comment on what weird material I should do next. And I'll candle you later. Yeah. Also, as a birthday present from me to you, I will confirm there will be a new video series coming out Wednesday. Not this Wednesday. Maybe next Wednesday. Or maybe the Wednesday after that. But there will be a new video series coming out on Wednesdays. Soon-ish. So get excited for that. And as a teaser, it's going to be vaguely costume related. Yeah. Go wild in the comments and speculation about that.